Perfect,
Just let
madam.
me know
Yes.
when you're ready.
Yes, it's ready now.
Okay, great.
Excellent.
First of all, I'd like to thank the founding fathers, Jitu Patel and Ashok Garlapati, for giving me this opportunity. And I think today it is very important not just to focus on climate change, but the overall health of the planet. And that is dependent on man made disasters. For example, in 2017 alone, man made disasters were responsible for 118 disasters, of which there were 3,000 deaths and more than $6 million in losses. And as Sri Venkatachalam mentioned, that these are really profit leaks. And the two major culprits were industrial fires and explosions and maritime disasters such as drilling platforms. So I would like to urge the multinational corporations to focus on India. And why does India matter? India has 1.35 billion people and is likely to surpass China by 2024. 50% of the population is below the age of 25 and 65% below the age of 35. India occupies 2.4% of the land mass and is home to 18% of the world's population. To give you an example of the economic importance of India, in 2009, the GDP of India was near the bottom, as shown here by the color coding on the left. In 2020, the GDP of India was near the top, as shown in this Forbes magazine color-coded map of the world. And India boasts billionaires who are industrialists. The reason why India had a very slow transformation since independence is because Indians suffered from a colonialized mindset, and there was divisive politics leading to a lot of unrest, and the most abused of them was the caste system in India. And the citizenry basically turned to sheeples, and they became a nation of helpless followers. And clearly, there was a lack of honest leadership, which led to a lot of ingrained corruption. There's also a global trend which is affecting India, and it is the greed driven corporate culture. I mentioned that in my book in chapter 6. The astronomical CEO compensation in 1980, it was only 40 times an average worker, but in year 2000, it was 386 times an average worker. Clearly a very demoralizing situation. And also, the CEO compensation during the major 2008 global recession, the CEOs made $50 million on average. They received 40% higher in the 50 major companies that laid off workers during that global recession, and their payoffs were directly related to the number of layoffs. The biggest problem India faces is an endemic disease, which I call an attitude problem. And there's a great book written by Alpesh Patel called Chalta Hai. Chalta Hai Chalega attitude, which basically means everything's okay. And that is leading to a lot of problems in India. The consequences of this culture is poverty will remain a problem. It'll have deleterious effect on the world. Investments will be driven away. And before I get into J&A, I would like to talk about the types of leadership that exist. There's the top-down type of leadership, which is autocratic and seen in the military. It's fear-based. There's a lot of mistrust, and the younger generations reject it. Then there's the bottom-up type of leadership, where there is worker participation and exemplified by the Six Sigma concept introduced by Motorola, and their aim was to have zero defects and errors. Then there is the lateral or employee-based leadership style, where there is a lot of camaraderie and exemplified by the enterprise car rental company. And lastly is the individual type of leadership, where the individual is self-motivated and a self starter. And it is knowledge based. And that is a very strong Indian trait. And you don't have to take my word for it. And you can see that there are global leaders that are knowledge based. And I call them the Satyam Shivam Sundaram triad. Satya Nadella at Microsoft, Shiv Nadar at HCL, Sundar Pichai at Google, Rajiv Gupta at Hewlett Packard, Vikram Pandit at Citibank, Azim Premji at Wipro, Ajay Banga at MasterCard, Shantanu Narayan at Adobe, Indra Nooyi at PepsiCo, Vinod Dham at Pentium, Ravichandra Saligram at Office Max, Arun Netravalli at AT&T and Bell Labs, Sabir Bhatia at Hotmail, Vinod Khosla at Sun Microsystems, Raju Narisetti at Univision, who is now the managing editor of the Wall Street Journal, and Vivek Murthy, who is Surgeon General of the United States. In 2014, there was a regime change in India, and a slogan was popularized by the leader, Make in India. And another slogan that was also popularized at the time was zero defect and zero effect. And they specified 10 goals, which included skill development and foreign direct investments. And they identified 25 industry sectors. But the needs of the hour in India are they need to wean off of government, which is a leftover of not only the British but the Soviet system of everything being nationalized, and eliminating trust deficit, which has built up since 1947. And to give you an example of what the bureaucrats in city, state, and central government think, the bureaucrats consider themselves the landlords and all elected leaders as tenants. And they resort to bribery, which is a major factor. And the only way to deal with it is to make bribery, both giving and taking, a felony punishable by mandatory non-bailable jail term. And also important would be to cultivate a civic sense and social responsibility, because most people in India ask, Mera kya, kuch nahi, to mujhe kya? In other words, what's in it for me? And importantly is the awareness of public health, safety, and environment in every sector of industry, which is where J&A comes in. This will have an effect on the planet. If we don't pay attention to it, it'll lead to environmental degradation, loss of life and property, loss of livelihood, and economic setbacks. The zero effect slogan was very impressive, but there were no safety experts on the payroll of major industries in India. And that is disastrous. And this is where the safety engineers will play a critical role. This is where J&A Bharat Hse Foundation comes in. And the two lone crusaders are the founding fathers, Jitu Patel, who brings 6 decades of experience in safety engineering, and Ashok Garlapati, who has 3 decades of experience. They are raising awareness and training the next generation of Indians. And their mottos are think globally, act locally, and being vocal for local. So Jitu Patel, who is the founding father of J&A, was formerly research and development expert at InnoSpec UK, and he was the loss prevention officer at Aramco in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. He is CEO of Global Safety Consultants. He's the director of Global Safety Institute based in the United States, and he is member and advocate of the board of certified safety professionals. He has received many honors and rewards. He has received the Howard Heedman Award in 2006. He's received the Diversity Award, International Practice Safety Specialty Award, where he was declared the SPY, the Safety Professional of the Year, in 2012. He's the received the U.S. Lifetime Achievement Award at the International Safety Summit held in Florida in 2017. And he was named the Father of Occupational Safety in 2018 and was nominated for Padma Bhushan in 2019. In 2011, he was named the Fellow and Global Ambassador by the American Society of Safety Engineers, and he was the first ever non American to receive the award, and it's the highest and the most prestigious honor. He has 29 scientific publications to his credit, and he's also author of a non professional biographical book called What We Give. Ashok Garlapati is fellow of the American Society of Safety Professionals, director of the board of Certified Safety Professionals. He's vice chair of Global Safety HSE Professionals. He's past president of the Safety Professional Kuwait chapter, which is the largest international chapter, and served as member of the Safety Professionals Global Task Force and supported in the establishment of chapters in India, UAE, Nigeria, and Pakistan. He has received honors and awards, including the Charles V. Culbertson Award in 2007, Region 6 Safety Professional of the Year, the SPY Award in 2010. He was the Safety Professional President's Award recipient in 2010. He received the Edgar Monsanto Queenie SPY Award in 2011. He's the ASSP Ambassador for the Middle East, India, and Southeast Asia, and has received the Charles Culbertson Award in 2011. He received SPY Award in 2011 and 2014, and is the Kuwait Oil Company's Safety Award winner in 2013, 14, 15, and 16. I have listed on this slide all the acronyms that will then explain what these acronyms stand for those who need to review them at leisure. The international safety chapters that they contributed to are located at Bahrain, UAE, Pakistan, Oman, Kuwait, Egypt, Nigeria, Ecuador, and the Philippines. Their Indian journey started in 2012 with the start of the first safety chapter in Chennai, Tamil Nadu. And in 2021, Jitu Patel received a certificate of appreciation from the National Institute of Disaster Management, which comes under the auspices of the Ministry of Home Affairs of the Government of India, where he basically drove the attention of not only putting out industrial fires, but how to cope with the disasters of the leftovers of the toxic waste. Here he is photographed with the Principal Secretary of the Industries and Mines. He's also seen here with the Chairman of All India Atomic Energy and the President of IIT Gandhinagar. They have conducted, between the two of them, site visits at major industries in India, including Tata Holdings, which boasts $100 billion worth of annual turnover, Reliance Industries, rupees 4.5 trillion, Larsen and Toubro, which boasts 1.3 trillion, Indian Oil Company, Hindustan Petroleum Company, Apollo Hospitals, Seat Tires Corporation, Dalmia. Their endeavors in India include starting an All India chapter, starting 6 safety chapters in Telangana, Andhra Pradesh, Maharashtra, Gujarat, Uttar Pradesh, and Tamil Nadu, and 5 city chapters based in Delhi, Mumbai, Kolkata, Chennai, and Hyderabad. They have also started 7 student chapters. Here, Jitu Patel is seen with student chapters. Again, unfortunately, this is off-centered. But these are photographs of various student chapters that they have started, and clearly it shows the younger generation are going to shoulder the responsibility of health, safety, and environment. This will have a positive impact on the forests and trees, and not only affect climate change, but include the health of the planet. There will be water conservation, road safety, hygiene and sanitation, home safety, and public awareness, especially in the realm of first aid and CPR. Leadership in this field of health, safety, and environment takes not only responsibility, accountability, but it takes integrity. And having worked with so many people in my career, I would say that Jitu Patel by far exceeds anybody I have seen in the highest integrity. And I am glad that he has taken on the important task of addressing health, safety, and environment, which should be an integral part of any industry. So, in conclusion, change for the better is on the horizon thanks to J&A Foundation. The younger generations will adopt health and safety as their career options. J&A Foundation will promote students to fulfill their dreams, help through scholarship for deserving but disadvantaged candidates. There will be advancement in career by upskilling on the latest health, safety, and environment issues, which will be supported by J&A, and they will support the vision and mission of not only the American Society of Safety Professionals, but J&A. So, what can we do? First of all, we can spread the word and share the vision mission of J&A with corporate executives, urge them to budget for health, safety, and environment issues, and promote the advancement of deserving HSE workers, and urge corporations to work with J&E to help victims of accidents and offer support to families. I thank you for your time.
Thank you, madam. Thank you. Appreciate your briefing on the concept of think globally, act locally. You covered the whole global issues and come to the India, how India is having issues and how J&A can support it, how individual can support it. Truly covering the whole message. And you also covered on the how Jitu Saab has supported the HSC fraternity over 6 decades, and it's truly amazing. Within 10 to 12 minutes of your time you covered the whole concept and how finally you brought to the thing how you can support J&D. Thank you very much. Appreciate.
I'd like to make one concluding comment.
Yes, ma'am.
Sri Venkatachalam mentioned that it'll all lead to a safer India.
Correct.
But I think the world needs to realize a safer India means a safer planet.
Exactly. Absolutely. Truly said. Thank you for your remarks. And let's continue with our next agenda point. Basically, we have a let me share the screen. Great. So we would like to.
I make an apology to Dr. Praveen that if he can wait till Neelam makes the presentation, because she's requested by the Chancellor of the community colleges to meet with the mayor in the next immediate vicinity. So if you don't mind, can you introduce Neelam first before Dr. Praveen, please, Ashokji?
Certainly, Jitu Saab, Dr. Praveen Patel and Ajay Sachdeva, both are our inner circle. So no issues. Yes, thank you very much. And let's invite our the third speaker today, Neelam Patel. And I just want to tell our audience today, she is the daughter of our founding trustee Jitu Patel. Just below her picture, you see following the footsteps of her father. That's amazing to know that Mr. Jitu Patel, 6 decades of his life has been spending to the community, spending to the profession. In addition to that, his legal heirs, Neelam Patel and Nisha Patel, are following the same thing. She has been instrumental in working with the foundations over a period of, I think, 20 plus years. And she worked as a project manager in injury prevention policy and practice at San Diego State University, and as a grants manager in Thunderbolt School of Global Management. She was instrumental in getting the USAID as well as the developed partnership with the foundations. And currently she is working as a manager of the development corporate and foundation relations Midwestern University in Arizona. She secured approximately $5 million to support education, scholarships, and community engagement programming at Midwestern University. We have talked about everything. She will be the great resource for our foundation of J&A. She was also instrumental in recruiting and managing volunteer committees responsible for core fundraising metrics, including high impact contracts with the prospects, identification of new prospects, and major gift opportunities. Everything what we talked about J&A, she is having in her. So over to Madam Neelam Patel.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ashokji, and also thank you to my fellow guest speakers for juggling the schedule a little bit. I apologize for the inconvenience, but want to thank you for that introduction, and to both you and my father, Mr. Neetu Patel, for bestowing me with this honor to join your distinguished panel of speakers today. It has been enlightening, empowering, and so exciting to hear my fellow speakers' thoughts and vision for the successful launch and long-term sustainable success of the J&A Bharat Hse Foundation. As we all know, the backbone of a successful foundation is truly their board of directors and the consultants that go along with a foundation. So there's no doubt in my mind that this stellar group of professionals on this call today, with your cumulative experience, your networks, your technical knowledge, will not only shape, but will propel the vision and mission of this foundation to great heights. There are really so many reasons why I am proud of the formation of this health, safety, and environment-focused foundation at what is an extremely critical time, not only for India, but will really have repercussions globally. The foundation's charge to generate philanthropic and program support in order to develop a strong workforce pipeline of future health, safety, and environmental professionals, particularly for underrepresented and underserved individuals, is near and dear to my heart, as both a public health professional and a nonprofit workforce and industry development professional. In many ways, as Mr. Ashokji alluded earlier, my career path has followed the same trajectory as my dad's. When it comes to safety and injury prevention, as mentioned in my introduction, I began my career in public health specifically as an injury epidemiologist, consulting state health departments across the United States, and then working for the Federal Maternal and Child Health Bureau. According to the United Nations, recorded injuries directly lead to 5 million deaths every year, accounting for 9% of all deaths worldwide. And these are only the recorded deaths, so the true number is, as we know, probably much higher. Injuries are a leading cause of mortality and morbidity in both the developed and developing world. They present a challenge to both understand the frequency in which they occur and the risk factors for their occurrence, and subsequently to develop intervention programs to reduce their impact. The largest impact of injuries is focused upon the young. Injuries are the leading cause of death and years of life loss for persons under age 45. Tragic loss of life at an early age also translates to a significant burden from the standpoint of costs, as we heard earlier from our keynote speaker. Lifetime cost of injury in the United States alone is estimated at $180 billion per year. These include costs for medical treatment, as well as the costs associated with lost productivity and premature mortality. But we all know that injuries are not accidents. And the emphasis this foundation will place on creating a platform for injury prevention, injury hazards, identifying injury risks, education, and quantifying the effects of various interventions designed to prevent injury is truly commendable. We are slowly but surely inching our way out of a global pandemic, the likes of which we've not seen since 100 years ago. The impact of COVID-19 has been felt around the world, tragically costing millions of lives while also taking a severe toll on societies and economies. The concrete steps needed to prepare for and protect India and the world from future pandemics and health emergencies will be built upon the challenges, successes, and lessons learned over these past few years, so that the next generation is better equipped to face future pandemics. I've heard today how many of you have been and will continue to be a part of this effort and under the umbrella of this foundation, working collaboratively with our stakeholder organizations to advance the goal of health equity in access, care, and outcomes. I have no doubt these efforts will be compounded. Lastly, when it comes to the environment, it is no surprise, and as Dr. Mini Pandit just shared earlier, that urgent action on climate change is needed to secure a livable future for generations to come. Again, according to the United Nations assessment produced by 270 scientists from 67 countries, global warming is wreaking havoc around the world, and we see the tragic consequences of this more frequently manifested in extreme disasters around the world. During my time working at Midwestern University, which is a healthcare university with campuses in Arizona and Illinois, we operated under what we call the One Health Initiative, which employs a collaborative, multi-sectoral, and transdisciplinary approach, working at the local, regional, national, and global levels, with the goal of achieving optimal health outcomes, recognizing the interconnection between people, animals, plants, and our shared environment. It is both assuring and inspiring to know that the J&A Bharat HSC Foundation recognizes this interconnectedness with their goals to minimize loss of human and other living beings, including animals and plants, which in turn affects our livelihood, property, and our shared environment. As mentioned by Dr. Ashok Ji, my career transitioned from public health to the nonprofit sector around 10 years ago, and I have been working as a seasoned nonprofit development professional for higher education institutions and their foundations to date. Fundraising, although many people don't like to do it, is critical. It's a critical component for foundation success in the delivery of their mission and goals. Donors come to your nonprofit because they believe in your mission. They stay with you because you prove yourself worthy of their trust, commitment, transparency, and dependability. To that end, our collective call to action on this very momentous day is to serve as ambassadors and advocates for the J&A Bharat HSC Foundation. What does that mean? It means it is incumbent upon each of us here on this call to increase the visibility and share the foundation's vision and mission and your excitement to be a part of it with your personal and professional networks. We can collectively identify and introduce prospects working in industries that align with the foundation's goals and objectives. We can share with each other ideas on how the foundation can increase their visibility around strategic initiatives. We can share resources that might be helpful to the foundation in identifying industry and other philanthropic partners whose passion aligns with that of the foundation's mission. And of equal importance is identifying revenue sources for corporations, individuals, other foundations, and government organizations who offer grants or sponsorships to support scholarships, programs, and the other health, safety, and environment directives under this foundation's umbrella. I look forward to contributing to the Foundation's fundraising and development strategy in the months to come, leveraging existing relationships and cultivating new industry and other partnerships. I'd like to conclude my remarks by saying on a personal level, I am so proud of my father who has dedicated his entire professional career and personal human capital to making the world a safer place. And now, in partnership with Mr. Ashok Ji, at the peak of his retirement career, because we all know he never did retire, he has launched this foundation. I want to salute the collective leadership and the interest of those on this call and extend my best wishes and support for the J&A Bharat HSC Foundation. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yes, Mr. Jitap. Yeah.
Thank you, Neelam, for sharing your successful experiences in supporting various world-renowned educational institutions of high repute and other humanitarian charities globally. Your volunteer support to our foundation's charitable endeavors would be of most value. As your father, I'm truly proud of your diversity, flexibility, and vigor in helping in students' education and in many other noble humanitarians worthy causes locally in the nation and worldwide. Neelam, I would like to highlight amongst many other, one in particular, where you made significant contributions in the field of children's injury prevention, which was remarkable to me. And with your inspiring presentation, I received a message from our next speaker, going to be Dr. Praveen Patel, pledging 100,001 rupees to the foundation contribution. Thank you very much, Dr. Praveen. It is really very thoughtful of you. With that, Ashok ji, you may introduce Dr. Praveen for the next speaker, please.
Thank you, Jit Saab. And first, I would like to thank Dr. Praveen for pledging his fund for J&A Foundation. Thank you so much for that, sir. And it's not only the J&A Foundation he has been supporting, he has been supporting our recently formed Global Society of HSC Professionals for quite some time, particularly during the COVID 19 period. We have developed the podcast, we have conducted the special webinars on the COVID 19, what the precautions can be taken, what are the myths, all those things have been covered with his vast experience in the medical field. He is current governance medical advisor of the Global Society of Health and Safety Professional. Again, he has got a very wide experience in the medical field. He is a member of American Medical Association and American College of Physicians. He is a past board of director of the West Tennessee Medical Association, past chief of the staff, Bolivar General Hospital, Tennessee, past chair of the PT Committee, Bolivar General Hospital, Tennessee, and past CQI Committee chair at Baptist Memorial Hospital in Tennessee. And he is a trustee and director and advisor to many philanthropic and charitable organizations. No need to say, he just demonstrated that. So thank you, Dr. Praveen ji. The floor is yours.
Thank you very much for kind introduction and greetings to respected Jitubai, Ashokji, our chief guest, Mr. Venkatji, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It is my honor to be present on this joyous occasion of inauguration of J&A Bharat HSC Foundation. I commend Jitubai and Ashokji for their thoughtfulness in establishing this outstanding charitable organization. Being a physician, I was wondering what should I talk on this joyous occasion, and my heart is always towards giving, so I decided to go on and talk about charity and its importance in our society and in the world. As illustrated by Ashokji, the mission and vision of this premier foundation is to improve health, industrial safety, and environment in India by well-trained current and future generations to continue the mission. India has been in a prolonged state of transition economically, demographically, and epidemiologically in terms of industrial safety and public health. We have witnessed India recently was caught flat-footed in terms of health and hospital safety during the second wave of COVID-19 pandemic. Also, from time to time, small and large industrial accidents get reported despite of most advanced modern scientific and technological preventive measures available, resulting into loss of precious human lives. Much work needs to be done to lessen these horrific fatal incidences. There are large gaps remain that can be filled by private-public partnerships, NGOs, and the work of charitable organizations like J&A Foundation. In the case of this foundation, with vast, lifelong, second to none expertise and experience of Jitubai and Ashokji, there will be a great deal of guidance and knowledge sharing readily available for improvement in the areas of industrial safety, healthcare, and environment to save innumerable human lives and prevent other losses. Charity plays an essential role in the society. It helps realize that it is possible to bless others in this world, especially those in needs and sufferings. Charities give a deeper meaning to life and helps us see our purpose to the people in our society. It also triggers compassion and inspires the beneficiaries to do the same when he or she has opportunity to do so. Acts of charity means the caring and loving for mankind. People do charity because they believe it is a moral duty, it has a purpose, and find personal gratification in helping others in need. J&A Foundation enumerates several reasons why charity is an important virtue that we should practice. So, why charity is so important in this world? The charity contributes hope and inspiration to people. Charity makes us realize how blessed we are compared to others. Non-profit organizations and charitable trusts bring hopes to people who struggle, suffer, and feel underserved. Successful charitable programs bring out best in people who are seeking inspiration and purpose in life. Without charities, there would be no second chance and opportunity for people in need. Charity improves and strengthens personal values. Charities help us see beyond who we are and guides us to realize what we can offer for the betterment of others. Charities encourage people to do better. We hope younger generations will get inspired and will continue the legacy of these charities. Finally, charities improve the world community. Giving without prejudice is a noble gesture. Real generosity knows no race, color, or creed. Charities prove that there are still good people filled with genuine purpose and genuine concerns for people and the communities in need. And obviously, Jitubai and Ashokji are most definitely two genuine and noble people. They have established the foundation aiming to help people see the value in giving and offering charitable help to those in need. They both strongly believe in humanity's power to influence people to be good and to do good to others. Their foundation aims to provide a platform where one can cultivate one's passion for kindness and grow the love for humanity. They want the foundation focus for youth wanting to pursue and practice HSC profession but fall short, where J&A Foundation would be of immense help providing scholarships or grants to fulfill their dreams. In turn, the recipients would make a difference for a safer and healthier India. In closing, I congratulate Jitubai and Ashokji again on inauguration of this Noble Cause Foundation. My best wishes to the foundation to flourish and do great programs and events to improve health and safety conditions and humanity in India and globally. I urge they inspire and cultivate current and future generations to do the same. I also appeal to all of you to support the foundation generously, enabling them to accomplish their goals of educating and training the underserved, becoming HSE specialists. Thank you all for your time and attention. Jai Hind.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much, Dr. Praveen ji. And we truly appreciate your statement and messages. Jitu Saab, would you like to?
Yes,
Yeah.
outstanding presentation, Praveen Bhai. It, in fact, taught me a little bit more insight of the charity and the giving values. Really, very, very deeply grateful to you, Dr. Patel, for what you have done for the community, and it is still ongoing. Your professional and philanthropic contributions for benefit of the communities dealing with healthcare, especially during COVID-19 pandemic, and also in religious and spiritual aspects of humanity are remarkably outstanding. We thank you for your endorsement to the foundation's ambitious plans and for volunteering to guide and support the mission and its vision, being part of it. We are really deeply thankful to you. Thank you so much. Moving on, again, it is my personal pleasure to introduce my very dear friend, Mr. Ajay Sachdeva, who is a founder and managing director of Corporate Governance Advisory Services. His corporation delivers consulting, training, and auditing services in environment, health, safety, and sustainability. He is a certified professional environmental auditor by BIAC, the Board of Environment Management, and so many others auditing certification board in USA. He is also an associate certified sustainability assurance practitioner with accountability from United Kingdom. He is a vice president of American Society of Safety Professionals Global Region 9. Mr. Sachdeva has worked on projects supported by various bilateral and multilateral development organizations such as German Investment, known shortly as DEG, Center of Disease Control CDC, United Kingdom, United Nations Industrial Development, UNIDO, United Nations Environment Program, UNEP, United States Aid, and Canadian International Development Agency, CIDA, and the World Bank. This is unbelievably long. He has served some global mega plants such as solar panel manufacturing in Malaysia, integrated aluminum complex in Saudi Arabia, backhoe manufacturers in India, and urea manufacturing in Qatar. He has conducted over 200 programs covering over 5,000 professionals from various Indian and global companies. Ajay the floor is yours.
Thank you, Jito Bhai. And good morning and good evening to wherever the people are located. And I think I don't have a formal presentation, so don't need to worry about the screen shifting and all. I will just pick up on some of the points which are presented by the previous speakers and delve upon them as to how perhaps in J&A we can take it forward. My voice is clear?
Yes, perfect.
Okay. Thank you, Ashokji. I think I'll start with what Venki established about a lot of things having been done. And perhaps I just would like to add a couple of items which can be added to that list, which are perhaps essential in addition to, like he mentioned about the training programs, to change the safety scenario in India. One is, I think, intervention of the judiciary. And second is the infrastructure. Those are also the two areas which, at least if our mission is on the knowledge base, we can at least have the knowledge of the people who are there in the infrastructure design and judiciary, because that is the way it has been enforced, not only, across the world in multiple countries. Although we would have the limitations of the general judiciary or infrastructure limitations in the country, I think we can make a dent and try to improve if we are able to get those as the key areas for work within the J&A domain. Another topic, I think, which a lot of people mentioned, but I could not find exactly, maybe it is embedded in some of the other topics, is the community health. And I'm talking about, Dr. Patel talked about it. And I'm not only talking about COVID, actually, especially coming about the countries, there are many other vector-borne and other diseases, including malaria, dengue, which are on a consistent basis, which have been happening on an yearly basis, even when COVID was not there. And that's another area which actually I remember in one of the, I think 2015 or 16, I found, like, in a lot of clients' places, we found about 20% of the workforce as absent, especially in some parts of India, because people were suffering from dengue, chikungunya, and all. So community health is not that strong a subject. So in terms of When we talk about knowledge advancement, we need to know about those topics and identify which are not of a conventional nature, where, like what Venki mentioned, there will be certain topics where we know, but we are not doing. I think there is very little as an external organization that we would have the capability to do it, or it may be very difficult for us, but it will be easier for us to help in the leapfrog of the knowledge base on the new sectors which are coming up. So some of these are, like as I said, what are the roles of judiciary and what have been the cases on the HSC, what are the similarly infrastructure improvements, not only on the existing, actually especially true with all the new initiatives, like what he mentioned about robotics, what he mentioned about hydrogen. I don't see conventional programs covering things like hydrogen risk assessment, leave alone at 100 bar or 200 bar. Even conventional hydrogen programs or even robotics have been in use for almost 2 decades, but I'm not sure how many experts, even for simple maintenance, still we find that people, there is a very limited amount of uh, competence available for that, and which has a significant impact on the safety. So safety itself not segregated, but when we say integrating into the line function, those are the areas where there are not enough institutions, as Venki was mentioning, or not enough professionals, and where we need to leapfrog in terms of the knowledge basis. Uh, so that was on the some of the subjects which can be taken up to start with. I mean, the list can go on and on, but I think these are the key areas which have not been addressed by the other organizations so far. So in a new initiative, we can take them as one of the areas forward, in addition to the standards and all what we have been discussing. Then coming to the stakeholders, I think we talked about the global leaders, the bureaucracy and others. I think it's good to see that we are coming together as an Indian community, both from within the country and also outside. At the same time, and I think with the one is linking it back to the mission and vision. I think we would need have a good opportunity to engage and all any of the team members who can help get the faculty for those levels will be helpful. When we are talking about inspiration, when we talk about, I think we have been limiting most of the faculty so far to the safety professionals, but I think there are many good professionals on the motivation and inspiration who come from beyond the realms of safety domain. Those can be the areas where we can work upon if we are really going to live on that mission of the inspiration, and they have to be from the homegrown leaders. I think we got a list of a lot of Indian born leaders, but a lot of I mean, people who are talking today about we talked about the Indian traits and the Indian qualities or the Indian style of safety. So there are enough people who talk about generally about the culture. They may not only talk about the safety. I would not like to name any of them, but I think we have enough motivational leaders, and we can discuss it offline who can be there. So those, and the other area is, I think some things come with the, I think one of the things which has been a key feature of our country, and it's not good or bad, I think it comes with everything, is because of the size. I think we have a dichotomy in almost everything. We have the largest engineers, we have the largest illiterate people, we have the largest economy, we have the largest accidents. So you will find it in multiple areas. And I think we talked about zero effect and defect. I think it's not only in one field of safety, but overall, I think if you go back to that mission that was started in 2014, people forgot the second line of zero effect and defect. In fact, even on the quality side and others, which the training programs which happened and which were supported by the government policies, slowly lost sheen over a period of time. So, but having safety at least as part of our scope of work would be really a good idea to take that forward. And it would also be pertinent if we want to really make the current one year Atmanirbhar Bharat or Make in India, both things together as a success. But I think it is important for any of these initiatives to succeed that we get engaged in a constructive manner with the bureaucracy and do not avoid that. And I think their success has been that they've been independent of the political parties, may not be during their careers, or I'm not talking about the pressure tactics, but they have maintained a continuity of the policies implementation whenever when the political parties have changed. I think there are enough good examples on that. One is, you'll see, I think we have a historic track record of evacuating the maximum number of people, not only during the current, but I think for last 30 years or 31 years. I think it started in 91, the biggest one evacuation drive that India did, and the one ending very, very recently last month. So I think it has been bureaucracy which has played a key role. And I'll give you one other example related to EHS. I don't know how many people are aware. I don't want to get into the comparison, but if you see the regulatory framework which has been evolved, it has evolved better in terms of environment compared to safety. And this differentiation started happening in early 90s or 95. And before that, both were making on the same stream. And that differentiator was because of one of the bureaucrats who was actually a person who came to the environment ministry as an in charge that time, just after the Bhopal gas incident from 87 to 89. In fact, a lot of regulations which should have been under safety were covered under the environment because of his leadership. And that really gave a flip. And this also brings back to the first point. If you see the other reason for transition or sudden focus on environment and success of India as a nation, because I think we are a case study for ozone depleting substances phase out and many other commitments which we have given on environment, but we failed to do so on safety. But then there was a role of a lot of people who were in as lawyers as well as judiciary during 90 to 97, which really set the ball rolling and made the leap forward. So I think it is important even for the safety domain that we are able to get into a constructive engagement. Surely, I think we get about 2,000 bureaucrats a year, right? Still, after all the reduction in the manpower and all, still, I think about you get about 1,500 to 2,000. So, if you are able and you can count it by the multiple number of years, and even if you presume they continue for 20 to 25 years, there are millions of them. The challenge is to find out 15 or 20 who are good, and each one of them has a capability to transform the whole thing. I think that is the challenge and the opportunity. If we are able to get constructively engaged with them, that is the other thing which can be a good area for work. And these are the areas where all the members can help. I'm just putting up on the table, does not mean I can take all these things along. But that is where I also want to emphasize that in addition to obviously the financial and other support is a key factor, as Neelam mentioned. And I agree, no organization can work, and we should not try to work on a hollow thing. And it is a key factor. But I think there are also other operational and organizational areas that we need to work upon. So these are some of them. Coming to the financial part, yes, I think we have to realize that the scenario, we have been working with a few organizations on our behalf. And especially last 2 years, we have done a lot of work with the investment sector and all. I think today the world is changing for the larger amounts of charity, at least. I'm not talking about the individual charities and all. From charity to what is called as impact investment. And the expectations are changing. It is no more like because it is a not for profit organization, so the expectations will be lower. Because it is coming as an impact investment, that means they're looking for a return on that. We are working right now with a company which has units which are actually serving underprivileged children. It was not in India but in Laos and Cambodia. The organization's headquarters is in US, and but all their customers, and they have almost all the reputed organizations as donors and customers in the IT sector. But the whole thrust or the expectation of those people who are going to invest largely and where it can help to raise the funds is things like information security, things like privacy principles. So what I'm saying is within this team, the domain needs to go beyond the realms of safety, even if we have to serve the only purpose of safety. We cannot remain in isolation that start from safety and end with safety. So that is why we need to engage with multiple stakeholders, both internally and externally, whether that is bureaucracy, whether that is on the subject matters, as I said, judiciary, and then only will be able to make an impact on the safety beyond just the training or other things. And also within those training or knowledge domains, we need to identify the areas where we can leap forward to make it a success. I think also there is a capability which we need to develop over a period of time, so that starting with India, at least we are able to multiply beyond the boundaries, if not now, maybe after 5 years. But overall, I think we need to work on, as I said again, on the subjects which we are going to work, on the stakeholders we are going to engage, and the internal organizational controls that we need to give a confidence to both the stakeholders who are investing in us, either as donors or as regulators controlling or anybody else, and ensure that we are able to come up to their expectations. So, thank you.
Thank you, Ajay ji, and for bringing your insights into this and how the foundation can further expand its activities. Truly appreciate your inputs. I just want to tell our friends who are participating today, we have been telling that we established the chapters in India and other parts of the world. And one instrumental person is Mr. Ajay Sachdeva. He was one of the national facilitator of ASSP. And we also told that we will be developing the leaders. And he's a true example of that. He was a national facilitator. From there, he has now become the Regional 9 Vice President of ASSP. So he's a true example of the leadership development process, and he's already Jitu Sahab has told many things about him, his expertise. And today, thank you, Ajayji, for providing your insight. With that, I would like to proceed with the next agenda point, Mr. Jitu Patel.
Sorry, Ashok,
Yeah.
just one thing.
Yeah.
I would like to comment that for many of these things, like if required, I would be very glad to work with, like for the fundraising with Neelam,
Yeah.
or on any other initiatives, either with
Certainly.
Venki or Dr. Pandit or Dr. Patel.
Perfect. Yes.
Ajay ji, it's really indeed very warm hearting. You are a family, and I have stayed with you and the family and two boys that you are raising them up. I feel proud as if they are my own grandchildren. So thanks for the support. I want to add, before I go on to concluding remarks, that Dr. Mini Pandit has also pledged 50,000 rupees, her contribution. In addition to that, one of my very dear friend and his good lady wife, who is I call her my niece, and they are part of my senior group, Mr. Ashwin Bhai and Rita Ben, they have pledged 100,000 rupees, 1 lakh of Indian rupees to contribute towards this mission and vision of the foundation. With that, in my concluding ceremony of this event, Ashok ji and I have put in the infrastructure to create the next era of world-class health and safety leaders. The industrial fire and explosions, motor vehicle tragedies, illnesses due to poor health and hygiene that have taken lives of countless Indians will continue to occur if we do not urgently equip generations to come with the tools and education needed to implement the world's best safety practices on the global scale. Our private third party foundation has the sole mission of creating a safe and efficient Bharat that advances the global field of occupational safety and health profession. This foundation will inspire HSE professionals in Bharat, which is India, to enhance their careers, earn globally accredited certifications, and take part in developmental opportunities to create a safer and brighter future rooted in safety and health. In educating future industry leaders, this foundation will take the policies and regulations that exist on paper and empower the next generation to effectively implement and enforce these regulations in various fields. These efforts will culminate in the lasting effect of the true goal of HSE professionals, minimizing the loss of life, livelihood, property, and the environment. As the technological revolution continues to advance the methods of production and operation in both industry and daily life, a new era of HSE professionals is pivotal to ensure that India is well equipped to handle the health and safety challenges those innovative technologies may pose. We must extend our humanity to fund the furthering of this field so that the next generation can extend humanity on protecting the people of Bharat. Our foundation plans to recognize individuals, organizations, corporations, and academic institutions that have made significant contributions to making a difference in advancing the field of HSE in Bharat. Your monetary contributions are a true inspiration and is appreciated in preparing the next generation to effectively and efficiently combat the problems of that our tumultuous future holds. Donors will have the liberty to choose the name of the scholarship or grant that their money is going towards. We greatly appreciate your time and commitment to creating the future of HSE in India. Collectively, both Ashokji and myself, as founding trustees, our sincerest appreciation to our chief guest, Mr. Wanky, and honored guest speakers, Dr. Minakshi Pandit, Dr. Praveen Patel, Mr. Ajay Sachdeva, and Madam Neelam Patel, my lovely little girl, for endorsing the mission and vision of the foundation with outstanding narratives. Though much work is still ahead, we are thankful to Mr. Raju P. for helping us designing the logo of the foundation, and Mr. Sundaram for his tireless effort and energy that he has expended with us 24/7 in establishing the framework of the foundation's website. We are grateful to Mr. Shiva Prasad, our CPA, who guided and assisted us in all legal formalities to get the foundation registered, in which Mr. Ashok Chandana, an official legal document writer, made a significant contribution to accommodate we as non-resident of India, but our heart and blood is Indian, to make it happen. We thank them all. I would like to make a request to people I name here that furthermore, our deepest gratitude to Ashokji's good lady wife, Miss Anitaji, and my better half Pannaji for their patience and tolerance practically every day, 24/7, whether it is night or day, because Ashokji, when he's working, I'm sleeping. When I'm sleeping, he's working. So we have to do this even day and night, these efforts to make it happen. Also, an ongoing linguistic and technological help and support, that too with smile and quality, rendered to us by Ashokji's daughter, a lovely little girl, Sindhuja, who calls me Jitu Dada, and I feel so humble and happy, and their son Yashwant, together with my spark and willing grandson Tej Patel, were of great value to us throughout these efforts of establishing this foundation, which is really very much deeply appreciated. Friends, we would appreciate if you took time to visit the foundation's website and complete the forms as mentioned by Ashokji, showing your willing interest to support the foundation for this noble cause of Safe Bharat mission. Thank you for sparing your valuable time for making the foundation's inaugural day a grand success. Together, we would prevail and make a difference in our beautiful nation. Ashokji, if anything you would like to add, please.
Can I have 1 minute, please?
Thank you so much, Jitu Saab. Yes, of course, you can have 1 minute and 2 minutes and much more. Just would like to thank everybody for participating and spending their time today to understand our objectives and goals of the foundation. And we have received some sort of a pledge. I just want to before I announce the pledge, I just want to request everybody to open their cameras so that we can see and talk. So that's what I request, and I will be briefing the list of the people who have pledged. So that's what I just want to do now. Let me unscreen, stop the sharing.
I made a suggestion. I think either via email or on this chat page, you can send us the SWIFT code and the account number so that donors can wire
Yes.
their funds.
We'll be sharing that. It is there in the website. We will be doing that as well. So we request everybody to open their cameras so that we can have some sort of a gallery picture. Perfect, excellent. So let me take a screenshot. Perfect. So with that, before I open, I just want to thank the list of the people who have pledged for the belief on us. Madam Kirti from India, 10,000 rupees. Mr. Jignesh Shah, Deputy Director of ASSP Kuwait Chapters PDC, 5,000 rupees. And 1 lakh 1 rupee from Dr. Praveen Patel, USA. And 50,000 rupees from Dr. Mini Pandit from USA, and 1 lakh from Mr. Ashwin Patel from USA. So those are the list of the contributions. And if anybody wanted to say anything, please go ahead, unmute yourself, and briefly talk.
Yeah. I think there was I think Mr. Ram Prasad or somebody wanted to say, or somebody else. Yes.
Yes. This is Selva Ganapati, President of Safety Engineers Association.
Yes, sir.
I'd like to have a meeting with your members, the office bearers, and our office bearers.
Sure.
To have a better understanding, and if you agree, we can have a collaboration because I have 700 plus safety professionals in the organization.
Excellent, sir.
And
excellent.
we can have it also for helping on the CSR. What you have taken a noble cause.
Okay.
We can play a role on that.
Certainly, sir. Certainly, we will be approaching
take
you.
a decision from our side. A meeting shall be called for.
Okay.
So that's what.
Certainly. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. That was very noble of you. We can always arrange or schedule a meeting between the two parties. Sure. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great. We truly appreciate. Mr. Selva Ganapati was part of us. I think he visited Kuwait also. I know him personally. So now he's a president of Safety Engineers Association. So thank you for joining today, sir. We'd like to have a further discussion on that.
Nice of you. I'm very happy to meet you.
Oh, of course.
After a long time.
Yes.
Personally, I'm at Qatar.
Oh, great. So,
we
madam.
Still have Ashok,
yes.
We still have Venki ji with us.
Yeah.
I thought I saw Venki ji still there. He has done so much during his long active career, not only in India, but throughout the world, including Middle East, Southeast Asia, and in the United States at different levels, different positions in different fields. And now currently he's still active with IIT Gandhinagar. Profoundly, I'm proudly also sharing that he's really doing a wonderful job. And I would just ask him to bless all of us, including the foundation, because he's also devoting much of his time in spirituality. And we all need to learn something that you can do anything and everything possible. Don't focus like I do and Ashok you do. We need to learn from Venkiti, even something that even culturally, religiously, spiritually, he is now very dedicated and committed. So just one word, something Venkiti would be helpful to all of us.
Thank you, Jitubai. I'm so humbled by what you said. Actually, for me, you are the inspiration in terms of energy and focus. But just to touch upon what Jitubai said, the one thing that struck me like a rock a few years back was that for a long time, I mean, like all of us, I want to be a good executive, then I want to be a good manager, I want to be a good leader, and it went on like that. And I was reading all sorts of books and trying to follow various people, what they advise, etc. Including, I mean, I'm just picking up the name Jack Welch. So in our career, as we chased career, I did that, and then I realized that before all that, I want to be a good human being, and then the whole dynamics changed after that, and I realized that while I need to be a good executive, a good leader, all that stuff, something I'm applying to the human being. And when it comes to safety, and when it comes to concern for our colleagues, concern for those around us, concern for our environment, so you put all that together. Now, I think that's a very large part of being a good human being. And that's when it struck me that when it comes to human beings and safety, it's so very important that we put it in perspective. And then it became fulfilling. So you may recall that I shifted from a for-profit job to a non-profit job, even in the UN, Underwriters Labs. And the key driver for me then was that I wanted to do something which impacted human life in terms of making it better. Profits are very important. I mean, by no means would I say it's not important. Very, very important. But if we can do that with a missionary zeal, and wouldn't that be fantastic? And that gave me tremendous energy to go and do something, whatever little bit that we were trying to do. And even today, that's what we are trying to do in IIT too. So thank you, Jitubai, for bringing that up. But I think when I find purpose in what I do, then I think my energy unleashed is really humongous.
Wonderful.
That's the point I want. Thank you.
Very nice,
Thank you.
If Dr. Mini Pandit is still with us, we all heard her saying, "Chalta hai, hame kya, usme हमको क्या मिलेगा?" That kind of a behavior, attitude. Miniman, would you like to say and share that we have some expertise, somebody who can share with us? Would you like to just briefly mention about it, please?
Yes, I was recently introduced to a PhD in psychology, and she has been working with organizations, including oil rigs, and changing the thought process of employees, because most people think, oh, we've been doing it for years. Who are you to tell us how to do things better? And so she has actually changed the culture in many organizations, and I think we could use homegrown Indian PhD psychologists do what she is doing. And I'm sure we will have success if we change the way people think in India.
Thank you, Miniji. We will certainly do that. I would like to now request my very dear friend's good lady wife, as I said, Anita ji, to say a word or two how you cope up with the pressure and situation with Ashok ji. Come up front.
Namaste to all of you. Thank you, Jitu ji, for giving this opportunity to be part of this event. And I first congratulate Mr. Jitubai and Ashok ji for a grand launching of this J&A Bharat Hse Foundation, which will certainly benefit for the new generation back in India. Really, I appreciate for this noble cause which you have dedicated a lot of your time and experience, time and hard work, studying this. Launching this website and everything, and you have done a big job, and you have dedicated a lot of your 3 months work. I think you have initiated this in January and completed in the end of the March. Really, I appreciate for this one. And you have done very, very big job and the safety profession in different part of the world through different organizations. Certainly, now your responsibilities will grow more after launching this foundation, And really, I will appreciate and always support for your great noble cause, which will benefit many people in the back in India, even if it is required, you can start in the world also, other part of the world. And thank you so much for giving this opportunity, and best wishes to the foundation as well as Mr. Jitubai and Ashok ji to grow more, and certainly our goals should reach to every part of the world. And I finally say that your dreams will succeed with this one. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And I pledge 50,001 rupee for this foundation, and personally from me. It's not the part of Ashok. Okay. Okay. Ashok is having a different pledge, and this is contribution, and it is my contribution to the foundation. And certainly it will required for the needy, who is very much as in problems or anything. Thank you, Jitu Jaji, for giving this opportunity, and Ashok ji. And
thank you
everyone,
for the support.
thank you. Good night.
Thank you very much, Anita ji. That was very humble, very noble of you to contribute to the foundation. And these words really mean quite a lot to both of us, because when we are actually doing something and the dinner is already on the table and we are in the middle of a discussion, and all that kind of patience and tolerance both the ladies have really absorbed because of our whatever we do, we really appreciate. Is Pannaji on the call or not? We can give her a moment to say hello to everybody.
Yes, she is also one of the, always gets disturbed with our work, our
And
contribution.
at the
Yes.
same time, everybody can meet with her too.
Yes, yep. Panaji, the floor is yours.
Yes, yes. I wish I knew that I had to give a lot of things, but that's okay. Anita ji has covered me quite a lot, and only thing I will say that, like Jitu said, I hear the whole thing day and night, where the hyphen goes, where the comma goes, and they cover the scripture and everything. But such a noble cause, they both have worked so hard and launching this organization, and I wish them all the best. And I heard everybody saying all the speeches and everything, and their support is just very inspirational. And best of luck.
Thank you.
Always.
Thank you. Thank you
Thank
so
you,
much,
Pannaji.
Panaji.
In fact, I just saw the message from Dr. Pandit, who is very dear, very fond of Pandan, and many of you heard her saying, she is my guru, but she is her guru in cooking or any difficulties. So this is the networking benefit, that we all know each other well, closely, and love each other and do whatever we can for others, rather than keep on thinking of self. That's what the giving is all about, which we learned from Dr. Praveen a lot.
I thought one day Jitu will retire, and we can have a very peaceful life, but there is no quiet, no silence in the house. But he enjoys what he does. So, and with Ashok's support, Ashok is young, so he's supporting him, and they both are doing something really good for everybody. So I'm happy about that, and he likes what he does. So
he is a visionary leader. I am just following him.
He's going to live a long life with this kind of things going on.
Thank you.
I wish both of you best.
Thank you, madam, for your blessings.
Ashok
Thank
ji,
you.
you wanted to say something about what we give?
Yes, exactly. I'm just waiting for the Panaji to complete, and anybody else wants to speak. So I just want to give the opportunity to others. So that's one of the thing. And in fact, Madam Dr. Pandit briefed about her presentation about the Jitubai's book, that book is issued in the year 2019. It was a very, very encouraging and motivating book for the HSC professionals. And this book is available in India also. I'm going to post in the chat message where it is available and you can get it. So if anybody is interested from that book, you can always get it. And let me just post in the chat box. What We Give. That's the book title. It was published in the year January 2019, and he has written everything from his lifetime, that how he has contributed to the community, and how he has faced the difficulties during his life. So nice to for the youngsters to go through that book and understand from the life lessons, I can say. So it's a very wonderful book. It is available in the with Mr. Utpal Bowser. I have posted in the numbers as well as the email ID, so you can contact him, as well as you can contact us also if you need that book. So that's about the book I just wanted to highlight. And if anybody else wants to say anything, we would like to listen from them. Otherwise, back to you, Jitsa.
I
just take a moment, Ashokji.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, go ahead. Yes, Kirti.
Yeah, I would like to congratulate and feel very happy to actually share this moment.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
I know that you've been looking for this day for very long, and it is really nice that you're able to have this day among all the family members and all the great professionals around. And I just want to say that I'm here to support in any capacity that is possible to move forward with the vision that you're carrying. And I should also take this opportunity to thank Ajay ji for connecting me with you all, because he's the person who actually connected me with you all. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You are, as I introduced, when you were driving and sent me that message, I mentioned to the people here that you are the Saraswati, which means the education, and you are the Lakshmi, which is the wealth of knowledge and other things. And you gave a good start, and now we already made contributions collection of a good handsome amount for benefit of the foundation's mission. So thank you for the good start.
Thank you so much.
And she has been instrumental in supporting our efforts in India. So thank you, madam. Yes, yeah. So Mr. Venki
wanted to come in.
Yes, Mr. Venki would like to leave the call now. It's too late in India, so we'd like to conclude our inaugural ceremony. Yes, yeah.
Last minute, last word. I think Mr. Jignesh Shah wanted to come in.
Yes, go ahead, Mr. Jignesh Shah. Yes.
Yes. Thank you, Jituji. Just I will say 3 words. When I met Jituji for I think 3 times, and I have seen him just like as a powerhouse, and we get energy from him. For Ashok, I will say only one word. He is a great volunteer, and as he said in his speech, he is producing more leaders, and we are following his footsteps.
Thank you, sir.
And,
thank you very much.
Third and most important thing is just I pledged 5,000 rupees, but as a good Jew, I believe in SIP, so I will continue my SIP in foundation. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Very good.
Appreciate. That's very nice. Very nice. Yes.
Yeah. If you don't mind, sir.
Yes, go ahead, Mr. Chari. Mr. Chari is advisory committee member of the ASSP Kuwait chapter from Kuwait. Please go ahead, Chari. Yes.
Yeah, namaskar. And first of all, I would like to congratulate Jitu Saab and Ashok ji for establishing this, launching this noble cause today. It's really proud to have in this form, and it's really restless. And just now today's chief guest was telling, Jitu Saab is like very role model for entire fraternity, and he's never ever see about himself. He always think about others, and it's a really very happy moment. And thanks and best wishes for the trust. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chari, for your nice words. Yes, thank you.
Go ahead, Ashok ji, close the
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I just wanted to just checking the chat box if anybody else wants to say hello. Otherwise, we would like to conclude this meeting. Today is the 25th March 2022, and we made a very good beginning. In fact, Indian registrations request for the witness as well as the a lot of formalities are there. One of the witness who signed our trust deed document is in the call now, Mr. Yashwant Garlpati. He was also one of the witness when we signed the trust deed. And I also would like to thank him for our support. Mr. Yashwant, would you like to say anything?
Yeah, sure.
Yes.
Namaste, everyone. Namaste, Jitu uncle. I hope you are doing well. So, look, considering my short career in oil and gas, I've already seen multiple incidents which have seen like include loss of life or life-altering injuries. And when you talk to the family of the deceased or the people who have experienced such injuries working on the oil field, you see how much they experience sorrow in their words, and there's an obscurity to their future. And fortunately, when you're in the Middle East, the companies actually have a great policy of supporting the families through insurance and providing educational support to their families back in India or anywhere in the world. But when you look at India, and you see a vast proportion of the employment are daily wage workers. They don't have any backing financially if anything goes wrong when they're working in like dire situations. And I'm really glad my father, Ashok Garlapati, and Jitu uncle have come together, and they have given a consideration to these people who have no support, who become orphans when their parents step into such dire situations. I'm glad I was able to witness this the signing of this agreement, and I'm hopefully praying that this organization and this foundation will take great steps in the future, and hope to see it rise in great heights. Thank you.
Thank you, Ashwant. That was very noble of you. Even you are the son of Ashok ji. I look upon you no differently, and I'm proud that you will carry that baton or even Olympic torch of the foundation, and make it lead throughout not only this era, but ongoing, as the word goes, sustained basis. Thank you, Ashwant.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Jit Saab, and for your continuous encouragement and motivation, leading all the causes for 2+ decades. So thank you very much, and we are calling a day of the concluding the launching of our J&A Bharat Hse Foundation. We'll be sharing all the information with the people who have pledged the money, how to do the transactions and other things. Thank you so much. Appreciate.
Thank you very much. God bless you all.
Thank you.